I'd love to hear about your history. We know you from Grays and some other great TV shows.
Mhm.
Tell us about how did you first discover acting? How did you first
How
get
long do you
into it?
have?
We got an hour. Let's
Uh,
go. I want to hear it all.
I never intended on doing this. You know, acting was the farthest thing for me. I was trained as an artist. I wanted to be an illustrator, a cartoonist. And senior year of college, as circumstances always sometimes have, or fate, whatever you want to call it. There was a gentleman at my school who was working on his doctorate in directing. He was directing a school piece, and he was short one actor. And so he we happened to be in the same place at the same time, and a mutual friend of ours, he was relating his dilemma to her, and we happened to be in a student union. There must have been 500 people in there, and she happened to literally look across the room and saw me and said, "Why don't you ask Jim?" And so the gentleman came over. His name is Ed Hill, wonderful, wonderful man. And he introduced himself, told me what he was trying to do, and I was like, I don't think so. I've never acted in anything, but he was very persuasive, and he finally kind of convinced me, so at least audition. So I said, okay. So I did, and I got the role because I think I was the only one there. No one had showed up. When I started reading the script, and something just something just clicked that I hadn't felt before, not like that. And it was new, it was exciting, it was scary. It was something that was pushing the envelope that I hadn't even thought about before. And I did the play, and eventually I did another one. And then upon graduating, I went back home to Cleveland, Ohio, and was part of a prestigious community arts center that's still in existence now and thriving, called the Karamu House. It's the oldest continuing multicultural community arts center in the country. That's like right around 105 years old. So I went there and kind of honed the rest of my skills, and then from there I left and went to New York in the late '70s. And I'm a product of the theater. I've always loved the theater. That's where my soul is there. And so I was a theater actor there. I was part of the prestigious Negro Ensemble Company, and was a member of the original cast of Pulitzer Prize winning play A Soldier Story, which later became a film. And but we did. Then the play was myself and a young Denzel and a young Samuel L. Jackson, and we were part of a very iconic cast. And from there, I made my way to LA in the early '90s, on the behest of my agent, who is now my producing partner, manager. And he had come out here to take a job, and he said, "Jim, you should come out here." And so I did, and as I said, the rest is history. And back in '05, this thing called Grey's Anatomy came along. I had just come off of a series that I think we shot maybe 13 episodes or something, and then it was canceled. Got a call, "Hey Jim, I want you to come in. They're doing this hospital drama." It didn't even have a name yet. I think it was called Surgeons at the time. And then it had several names before Grey's Anatomy. They got the moniker for that. And so I said, okay, well, I needed a job. And so I went in and auditioned and met the incredible Shonda Rhimes. And um, I got the job, and here we are, 22 seasons later, and it's been a real blessing. I've had a great time, and I've been really blessed. I've had a great career. I worked with some amazing people over the years, good directors. I worked with Barry Levinson 4 times. I worked with Oliver Stone, Rob Reiner. Um, wow, the list goes on. I've been really blessed to have the kind of career I've had.
What was it about? What did Shonda Rhimes teach you about bringing bringing life to that character? What was, people say
Yeah,
she's really,
yeah,
a great showrunner and
yeah.
has
You know,
is the
Sean is
best in the field.
Sean is amazing. I think, yes, showrunner the whole 9 yards, but at her core, she is a writer, and
Yeah.
uh, I think I think I want to make sure I got the story right. When they were pitching this show to the network, my character was ethnicity and everything was kind of ambiguous at the point. But Shonda was very adamant and wanting this character to be an African American. And maybe, the network was like, well, then, does it have to be? She said, well, in my world, he would be. And she has always been a great advocate of mine. I'm really fortunate that I've had this character and I've had the writers who've written some amazing words for me to say over these 22 seasons. Uh, Something that I've never taken for granted, and a lot of that is due to her, and her trust in me with this role. And I'm the senior citizen here on the show now, and I'm given the words of wisdom and teaching and mentoring, and she's written this character in a way that he's not perfect. We see his flaws, and it's how he overcomes them, and how he has been able to navigate this and still uh, keep his dignity, and impress upon all the interns and his fellow doctors on how we should do that. And I've been I can't tell you how grateful I am to her for giving me an opportunity to have a character like this.
Do you have, looking back on it all, do you have a favorite scene that you shot over all
Oh
these
my
years?
God. You, we air tonight, we air our 450th episode,
Wow.
450 episodes of television. And to try and circle one, I mean, they were all so amazing. There was one episode that was I really kind of paralleled my life, and Dr. Weber talks about his mother. Mother died at a young age from cancer, and she left three children behind. And it literally mirrored my life. My mom passed away at 47 years old from uh, from cancer and left three kids and a husband. And it really resonated with me. And it was cathartic in a way. It was joyful. It was also there was some pain there, but it was one of the episodes that sticks out for me just because it was so personal. But all of them have I've enjoyed all of them. All the stories have been great. The crazy medical stuff we have to do, my interaction with all of our actors over the years. But I can't really pinpoint one. If there's one episode now that I think probably resonated with audiences, it was our what they call a Cold Black episode that was part of the Super Bowl Sunday. I think it was 35 million people watched that episode that night. That was it was an amazing episode. We had a good time.
Do you think Shonda's really changed the field for African American actors?
I think actors in general, obviously African American, but also in terms of how we view gender. Her show, in a way, she's so humble, and I don't know if she would say it herself, but then maybe she does. Well, that our show kind of changed how folks cast television. We're talking the early 2005 we premiered, and casting stuff. I had to look at how they looked at performers and actors and character interpretation in a different way. And I think a lot of that had to do with her show on how we portrayed these characters and what they look like. And she tried to get these characters to really reflect the audiences that she was trying to speak to. And I think that was for me that was her biggest contribution. And just telling stories that were really topical. She challenged the status quo as far as television was concerned, and she took on topics that were politically and socially, sometimes inflammatory, but we told them in a way that I think was digestible for our audiences. And I think that was the one thing that she did so masterfully, and she was able to surround herself with some incredible writers at the end of the day. But her storytelling is just I don't know of too many that have been able to reach audiences in such a way that she has.
You were also, I remember you were also on Roseanne and the Connors,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
What was that
yeah.
like?
That was my very first job
Really?
in Los Angeles was a Roseanne show. The direct I done a soap opera in New York for about 4 years, and one of the directors on that soap came out to LA and started directing TV, and he called me in to play a small role on Roseanne. It was actually a different character altogether, and I I did that one, and then they kept calling me, and then the character changed, and he became the husband of one of her co-workers. And from there, it started to morph into him becoming John Goodman's character's best friend. And I think over the now, shucks, almost 35 years now, I want to say, I've I've done close to, I want to say maybe 40 episodes. First as Roseanne, and then when they did the reboot as the Connors, and it's been great. Laurie Metcalf and I worked together in New York years ago, and so it was great to be on the show with her and kind of reminisce. And it's been a wonderful ride. You know, I had a lot of fun with Roseanne. She was very cool, very, very, very gracious to me. And John and I, we clicked and we had a good time. So yeah, Roseanne was a lot of fun. I had a good time.
Yeah. Do you have a favorite memory of working on that show?
Oh, and
It
I
must
tell you,
have been. It seems to me like it must have been a wild place with
it
Roseanne.
was a while. The Halloween episodes were always really a lot of fun because Roseanne would go out of her way with the costumes and everything. And well, I think one Halloween episode, I was a cowboy that had arrows and stuff sticking all out of him. You know, it was
Yeah.
they were really a lot of fun. Those yeah, the Halloween episodes were a lot of fun.
Thanks for watching the uInterview channel. With over 3,000 original celebrity videos, we have one of the largest collections of celebrity interviews anywhere. So remember to like and comment on our videos and subscribe to the channel. If you want to get more involved, you can become a member of the channel. Membership has its perks. You can see exclusive celebrity videos and get the opportunity to ask our celebrity guests questions. We can't wait to hear from you.